Are you tired of not living fully? Are you wondering what you can do next year in 2023 to live your healthiest year yet? Then look no further, because we have 3 tips coming up that's going to help you make 2023 your healthiest year yet. Again, I just have to say kudos to you for being here with me and investing in your health. Like my mama always likes to say,
Mama said that.
No one cares about your health like you care about your health. I know we don't all have MDs and PhDs, but the fact that you're doing research on what's causing you problems means you're taking a step in the right direction. You know, never before have we had this kind of information available on YouTube or Google that we can go and research. And it doesn't take place of what our wonderful doctors do, but it does mean something that, like, you're here with me. And I can remember countless nights of staying up awake late because I was in pain, suffering from my ulcerative colitis, and being on YouTube, being on Reddit, going deep dive, diving deep into those dumpsters, figuring out what I can do to help, because, the doctors don't always have the answers, and they are often, the system is not kind to them in terms of loading them up with patients and filling them up to capacity. So it only makes sense that we take control of our own health. And that's exactly why I'm bringing you these 3 tips, plus a bonus tip on how we're going to make 2023 our healthiest year yet. And if you're here watching the full show with me, I'm gonna do like these kind of intros for each segment that we go through. It helps me with when I clip it up. So thank you for staying patient with me through the intros. I know they seem weird if you're watching this all at once, because you're like, why does he keep having to do this each section? But it's for the clip. So, we're working through it. We're figuring out what works and what doesn't. So thank you for just being patient with me. They're gonna sound corny, but hopefully you like them. We're gonna begin our 3 tips with diet, sleep, exercise. These are my 3 keys that I believe, this is my thesis for health about what's going to create the healthiest version of ourselves. When we can nail these 3 things, diet, sleep, exercise, then in general, our health will do better. As we're planning on how 2023 is going to be our healthiest year yet, let me know below which of these 3 are the easiest for you and which of these 3 are the hardest for you. Personally, the diet is the hardest for me. The easiest is exercise and workouts. It's just what I love to do. You get the hormones and all of that stuff. And I can always do better at sleeping. I create my own schedule, so sleep is not that hard for me to obtain. Even if I don't get the right amount of rest in a certain night, I can plan for a nap or whatever it may be. Go to sleep super early the next night. And I also like to think that they're in that order of importance. You can switch 1 and 2, diet and sleep. I think they're very, parallel. You can put sleep 1, diet 2, because when we sleep better, we eat better. When we eat better, we sleep better. But in general, they're in that order of importance as well. So I navigated here on my 3 steps to lose fat, funny enough, because the same keys that will help you lose fat are the keys that you're going to need to create your healthiest 2023 you. And we're going to start off with nutrition. That's practicing healthy eating habits. I say practicing because it is a practice. We don't get discouraged when we don't always do our best in practice. So whether that's cheating on your diet plan or whatever, I don't like to use diet plan either, but whether that's not following through with what you said you were going to do as far as nutrition is concerned, since it's practice, you get to wake up the next day and do better. So for nutrition, the basics are kind of eating a whole food diet, eating a probiotic rich diet, because we know how important the microbiome is. It's it is the second brain. Feeding probiotics with prebiotics, more good bacteria than bad bacteria. And in a society that's full of overconsumption, we want to practice our not consuming too much. So less calories coming in than you have going out. I like to say keep it super simple and eat for energy. Whatever gives you energy, you should keep eating. And some tips you want to avoid. These are tips for, again, this is a fat loss article, so tips of avoiding white carbs, gluten, sugar, dairy, processed foods, alcohol are the same tips that we're going to use to create our healthiest version of ourselves in 2023. Some foods you want to enjoy, some good protein sources are going to be eggs, tofu, chicken, fish, beef. Some vegetables, we're going to talk about some probiotics. This should say probiotics, not prebiotics, but sauerkraut, kimchi, pickles, and then veggies that are prebiotics, which are going to help feed the probiotics. We're going to stick with stuff like broccoli, cauliflower, spinach, asparagus, peas. Healthy fats, you want to make sure that you have a good amount of unsaturated fats. For saturated fats, that's going to be like a good omega-3, a good olive oil, avocados, flax seeds, and chia seeds. We're going to stick with some complex carbs that are going to help feed the good bacteria, the probiotics as well, including bananas, yams, apples. So that's kind of the diet. I mean, you can go on here and read it. everyone has their own opinions about what you should and shouldn't be eating. And it's very individual based. And I think I did something recently on the book called Healing with Whole Food. I think that's a great place to start. It's a great place to figure out how to create a tailored diet for yourself. And tip number 2 for creating the best 2023 version of you is to get the right amount of sleep and to get quality sleep. We know how important sleep is for clearing out the garbage in our brain, repairing our body, storing information. It's just, again, there's a reason that it's, I'll call diet number 1 and I'll call sleep number 1 on this 3-tip list. I know that that's 2, but like it's just as important as diet, if not more. So you have here on this cool article 2 is like, we're gonna get into 12 tips for healthy sleeping, but first we're gonna start off with the less you sleep, the more you eat, because of these hormones called leptin and ghrelin. Leptin is the signal for I'm full. Ghrelin, the Grinch way to remember it, is a signal for feed me. When you get less sleep, you have more ghrelin in your system. And also you're driven to quicker sources of energy, which is gonna include sugar, is gonna include simple carbohydrates, right? I'm not saying that sugar and simple carbohydrates are always bad. There's a place for them for sure, like there's a place for everything else. But in general, you want to not have that crash in our blood sugar. The elevation and crash in blood sugar is not a good thing for our health. And 12 tips to maintain a healthy sleep schedule. We're gonna say stick to the same sleep schedule, go to bed and wake up same time, even on the weekends. Exercise, avoid caffeine too close to bed, avoid alcohol, avoid large meals, avoid medicines that help you sleep, and that includes melatonin. Don't nap too late. If you're going to nap, make sure you unwind and relax before bed. That means not working all the way up until bed. Now I need to do a better job of that, I think. You can take a hot bath or hot shower. Keep your bedroom dark, cool, gadget free. That's one of my favorite ones. Get daylight as soon as you wake up from the sun, the real sun, and limit artificial lights as much as possible when the sun goes down. Don't lie awake in bed. If you're in bed and you can't sleep, it's one of those restless nights, don't just sit there and get up, get out of bed, because the bed should be reserved for sleep. And tip number 3, of course, is exercise. There are no exercise avoidance hacks. You just gotta do it. Like anything, to see the benefits in our health from exercise, it takes consistency. You're not gonna be able to get ready for your trip to Cancun in a month. It's gonna take 4, 5, 6 months. Then you'll look great. But not only will you look great, you'll feel great, you'll have more energy, you'll sleep better. It's just, it's number 3 on the list, but again, I'll say 1A. And I'm gonna add a bonus tip. The bonus tip is to do something that you love, is to do something that's for you, that refills your own cup. So number 4 on the list is doing things that you love, that recharge you, that re-energize you.